Hi Steve, it's Matt from Search Exclusive. We were introduced via Josh at Regency Creative over email, and we had a conversation over the phone the other day, and I promised that I'd do a video analysis for you. So basically here it is, and I will try and keep it as short as possible. Okay, so on the phone the other day we spoke about keyword research and search terms applicable to your business and geographical location. So what I've done here is done some research. This data is coming from Google's database itself, so I'll just quickly describe each column. In this column here we've got some suggested search terms relative to your business and geographical location. This column here is the number of times these particular search terms are typed in on a monthly basis. And this column here is cost per click, which is basically what you would pay Google if you're using their advertising program to get one visitor to your website. So this cost here is per visitor to your website. So if you had an ad that was shown when someone typed in Pest Control London and someone clicked on your ad to go to your website, you'd pay Google roughly around £8.44. Okay, so Pest Control London, we already established over the phone that it's probably the most competitive term. That doesn't mean that you can't rank for it. It just means that you'd need a considerable investment of cash outlay and also time to be able to rank there. Pest Control Croydon, probably not an area that you want to focus on, but obviously if that's not the case, let me know. Pest Control in London, London Pest Control, good search volume there, but unfortunately it brings up the same strength of competition that Pest Control London does. And then we've got Pest Control Central London and Pest Control South East London, which are two areas that you expressed an interest in over the phone, but unfortunately get around 100 searches between them. So basically what I've done is highlighted 4 here that are applicable to your business and geographical location. Okay, and these search terms combined equate to around 700 searches per month. Now if you use the #1 website for these search terms, you are likely to get around 220 site visits per month. Okay, and we know roughly that it's around a sort of 9 to 10% conversion rate, which means out of those 219 people, around 9% of those people will actually contact you. So that probably equates to around sort of 20 plus calls or contacts on a monthly basis, and I'm sure with your experience and knowledge in the industry you'd probably convert a good number of those calls into business. Another useful thing to look at is what would it cost if we were using Google's paid advertising program to get the same number of people to the website. Okay, so if we took 219 site visitors and we took an average cost per click of say £8.50, let's have a look at that. So £8.50 times 219, that's £1,861 per month you'd have to pay Google to get the same number of visits to the website. So it just gives you a good idea of the value of these search terms. Okay, so what I've done next, I've taken these search terms and I've put them into my software. Now this tracks the location, the positions of your keywords for your website if they were typed in anywhere in the UK. So you know, it doesn't matter where you are in the UK. If you're typing in Pest Control London or whatever, it gives you an average of roughly where you are. So for Pest Control London, you're not in the top 100 pages. Pest Control Bromley, you're in position 17, which is on page 2. South London, you're on page 7. East London on page 10, and Kent page 10 as well. Okay, so you probably know yourself as a searcher in Google that you very rarely go past page 1 when you're looking for products and services, especially in the local area, and certainly the average consumer does not go past page 1. So it's obviously important to be on page 1 and as high up on page 1 as possible. Okay, the next thing that I've done is I've looked at the domain metrics of your website against the competition on page 1 of Google for the search term Pest Control Kent, which is obviously one of the ones that we highlighted in green. So I won't go into detail what these metrics are, but they basically measure your website's strength, trust and authority in Google. And as you can see, compared to your competition, you're doing pretty well. I mean, the trust flow here, or the trust, could actually do with increasing, but overall your domain metrics are pretty good. Now, domain metrics are not the be all, and then to ranking well. There's obviously a lot of other sort of variables that come into play, but it's obviously a good start that your domain's got good power, trust, and authority, and probably good maturity as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the link text pointing to your website, because what can happen, when a website's not ranking, it's either because it's not got enough focus, okay, or it's got too much focus. And what I mean by that is that Google needs to know what a particular web page is about, and obviously it needs to know that in order to rank it. And what it uses to assess that is elements that are actually on the page itself, and also elements of the links that are coming into that page. Okay, now we call that optimization. Now you can either be not optimized enough, or you can actually be over optimized. Okay, and what I found here is that the majority of links that you've got coming to your website are all pointing to the home page. Okay, so you've got a bit of over focus, if you like. So you've got things like Pest Control London, Pest Control Bromley, Pest Control Kent, all pointing to the home page. And what happens is that makes it very difficult for Google to understand what that page is about, because it's about many things. Okay, so there's not enough sort of targeted focus there. Okay, also Pest Control London and Pest Control Bromley, there's just too many links coming for that particular link text. I mean, Google works on probability, and the probability of there being 3,800 links for Pest Control Bromley or 442 links for Pest Control London is just not probable. So it may be a case that Google is actually suppressing your website because of this. Now, the other issue that also comes into play, especially when you've had previous SEO, is that links on websites can actually get toxic. What I mean by that is the website itself can either get penalized in Google or be classed as toxic. And if you've got a link from that website pointing to your website, that toxicity actually passes to your website. So the one thing that I always do when I take on new clients is to run a link detox and clean up all the links. And that includes, in this case, the over optimization that you've got for Pest Control London and Bromley. Okay, so that's something that I would look to do should we decide that it's a good idea for us both to move forward with this. Okay, and so basically you've got very good domain metrics compared to your competition, but probably not enough focus for your pages and your links, and probably an over optimization issue going on with your link text as well. So they would be the things that I would be looking to clean up and move forward with, a more targeted focus for your pages and links to get better rankings. Okay, I hope that's helped and has been of value. If it raises any thoughts or any questions, then obviously give me a call or drop me an email, and I'd be happy to answer them for you. Cheers, Steve.